Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Rob Richards and I'm back here at Mission Fitness Center in Alhambra, California for another episode of Beast Training. Now on today's video, I'll be taking it down and we'll be having a look at calves. I'll be doing many superset exercises, performing them back to back, high volume, not as heavyweight, and really showing you how we can focus on adding some size, but also strength and power into the calves. Now, as always, you can check out the full article at beastsports.com, see all of the images from today's workout, all of the sets, reps, and the full description. All right, let's kick things off with the first of our 3 supersets. So the first thing that we're going to do in today's calf workout is warm up the calves, prepare them for some of the main exercises to come. And this involves 2 things. One, getting blood pulled into the area, and the second thing, equally as important, flexibility, making sure that we have good dorsi and plantar flexion at the foot. So the first of our warm-up movements are going to be based on the hamstring curl. Now I'm performing this one with my toes pushed away from my shin, as opposed to normally when we curl up, our toes are curled in towards our shin, really involving the hamstring. But look what happens if we shift the toes out and curl up. It involves the calf muscle as well. And that's simply because of how the calf is structured, coming up with its insertion just around the kneecap there. Whether you're on a seated hamstring curl machine or a lying hamstring curl machine, toes pointed away, do a good 3 or 4 sets, relatively lightweight, high volume, and you feel it in the calves. Immediately after this, I'm performing some simple but effective step-offs. Now, what I mean by this is I've got the ball of my foot here, not the toes, not the base, the ball just off the edge of a solid platform. By coming all the way down and without flexing too much at the knees, trying to project myself off. It's a really great warm-up exercise for the calves. So whether you need to hold on to something to support, we're going to drop our heels down, getting that really good stretch in the calves, and then you want to fire yourself up and try and lift your body off without flexing your knees too much. It's not that easy, and if you resort to simply just stretching and coming up and contracting the muscle, doing 15-20 of those immediately after those lying hamstring curls can still be just as effective. One other thing we're doing is some static stretches. Taking the foot behind us, planting that heel down, and pushing the heel into the floor as we lean in. And you want to hold that stretch for 15-20 seconds. Focus on taking some deep breaths through the nose. As you exhale through the mouth, you feel that tension in the muscle start to ease, and just push back and sit into it a little bit more. Same as with this stretch, whether you're on a platform or something vertical, pull your hips into it. So have the toes elevated above the heel. What I'm doing here is gently pulling my hips in, increasing that stretch down the back of the lower leg. Hold for 15-20 seconds, repeat on the other, and I perform this warm-up circuit for 2 to 3 repetitions each. All right, now let's move on, have a look at our first working set that really focus on calf. And for this, we're gonna perform it with the knee in the bent position. Let's go take a look. So now that we're into our main working set, there's 2 main things we need to focus on when training calves, and that is the knee bent and the knee straight. And within each of those versions, we're going to affect different region of the calf, the soleus and the gastrocnemius. So I'm starting with the seated calf, and for this one, I'm performing at least 4 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions. Higher volume than some of the larger muscle groups, and that's simply because of the muscle structure is more of a sinewy, slow twitch, red fiber type muscle, and therefore they respond better to more endurance type work than more of the heavier weights that perhaps chest, arms, back and legs would respond to. And really this is because our body is relying on those muscles every day to work and become efficient. So simply just doing the same thing that we do as walking or walking upstairs isn't going to result to that much change. So have a decent amount of weight, but go for high volume, 15, 20 repetitions. And this also plays into why I'm supersetting movements back and forth to keep that intensity up. Now, the exercise that I perform after the seated calf is really one for the tibialis anterior. This muscle here, just to the front of our shin. It's great if you play a lot of sports where you're on your feet and needing to change direction, but it's also really good from an aesthetic purpose to help thicken out the front of our lower leg. And for this one, all we need is a bench and a dumbbell. And you can see that I'm using a towel, wrapping around the dumbbell, positioning it between my feet. All I'm doing is curling my toes up towards my shin and extending. If you feel uncomfortable using a dumbbell, try using a cable. Sat on the floor, securing either an ankle strap or just a D-grip around your foot, and performing that same flexion, both plantar and dorsiflexion at the ankle. You don't need much weight, it can be a little bit tricky, but it really is a great exercise, especially when paired with our seated calves. Oh yeah, one more thing. I want to talk about the notion of changing our toes outwards, inwards, and neutral. Look, I'm not a big fan of this, and here's why. It can increase the risk of our ankles and lessen ankle stability. A much more effective way of doing this is to think about the ball of the foot and where that pressure is coming from. So instead of me changing my toes outwards or inwards, all I'm doing is changing where I'm pushing up from the ball of my foot. My toes and ankles stay in alignment. Therefore, I've got a good solid structure at my ankle. But instead of always pushing up from the center of my ball, I'm slightly rotating outwards like this, or slightly rotating inwards. Again, it's a tricky notion to get your head around, but once you become more comfortable with it, I find it much more effective than simply taking the toes outwards or inwards. So out of those 3 sets, 1 to 2 sets dedicated to toes and ankles in alignment, pushing from the center of the ball of the foot. And the 3rd, 4th working sets on there, I changed to our outward rotation and that inward rotation. 20 reps, circuit back and forth. Now we can move on, check out the 2nd of our main working supersets for calves. So we've looked at performing a bent knee calf exercise. Now I'm performing a straight leg on the leg press or an angled calf press. Hey, you can even use a Smith machine, providing you can get a small step or a block to be able to elevate the ankles and drop them down lower than the point of the base of the foot. What we're doing here is the same notion as with the seated one. We want full contraction and full stretch in the calf, and at least after the 2nd working set, we're changing that angle slight outward or inward based on the ball of our foot. Again, it's a tricky concept to maybe comprehend if you haven't done it before, but the more and more you practice it, you're going to really see the effect and the results of being able to push up from different points on that ball of the foot. One thing I like to do on the leg press is build up to a really heavy weight, get that full stretch and contraction in the calf, and then as a superset, drop some weight off and keep lowering the weight, adding in 15, 20 repetitions. So it's one giant strip set. You can also perform this on the angled calf or a standing calf machine, where you start with a heavy weight, and once you've reached failure, drop the weight off by about 30% and keep going. Like I said at the beginning of this video, calves are a stubborn muscle group, and that's because they're often a slow twitch, sinewy type fiber that need a lot of intensity and volume to be able to respond to. So you need to go heavy, but also high volume. Also, don't forget about performing these exercises with a single leg, one at a time. Maybe not so much with the seated calf, but certainly with the standing and the leg press variations. Take one leg out and then focus on one leg at a time. This really allows you to focus on that full contraction and flexion around the ankle. Really feel that calf have to work, and you really get used to pressing off from that different points on the ball of your foot. So I'm still performing supersets here, whether it's with the leg press or the angled calf press. And the 2nd part of that superset is performing single leg on a platform. Now with this, I can drop one knee down, bring my leg out to the front, not the back, which tends to rotate me around. By keeping that leg forwards, I can keep square hips and focus on performing these same exercises with a bent knee. Now this is different from performing our leg at a complete bent knee and a straight leg, and I find this one really helps for that sort of final burning set after you've done the heavier working sets of the machines. And there we have it with calves. Just like with forearms and abdominals to a degree, I like to do this in a circuit manner. 15-20 repetitions on one exercise, immediately followed by another exercise, perhaps even a third, and simply repeat them for a circuit of 2 to 3. Don't go too heavy, focus on the full range of motion, and really feel that muscle contract at each repetition. Every repetition should be its own rep. You're not simply just moving the weight to get to the end of your rep range. The last rep should be the same as the first rep as far as how it's performed. And my top 2 supplement picks for today from B Sports are these: Creature, which is a creatine, and Super Test. Both of these are going to be really great if your goal is focusing on lean muscle mass and conditioning. They'll help supplement and support your diet and your training. You can pick up both of these from bsports.com. They come in a range of different flavors, powders and capsules, so whatever you need to suit your personal preferences. And until next time, keep training hard, stay motivated. I'll see you soon. Take care.